Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and I'm back for day number 26 of the March Madness Sketch Challenge from Scrap Now, Sleep Later. This is the sketch that I'm going to be using, and I do end up following it pretty closely. Of course, I'm bringing out Hello Summer from Echo Park. I'm going to be scrapbooking some photos of my nephews at a splash pad that's at Gator. On the right hand side of the layout, it does call for a 4x6 in a portrait size, and I did have a couple extra photos, so I went ahead and cut down 2 of my photos to a 4x3. I'm actually going to mount them on a yellow piece of cardstock to make them look like a 4x6. And it doesn't matter how many times I have cut a 4x3, I am always going to use this template. I just can never get it right. So I have it kind of stuck in my box over there in front of my desk, and I just pull it out whenever I need to cut it. And the other side has the 3x4 in the other direction, so I can remember which way to cut which. What I decided to do was pull out the cards that I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be using. A lot of these cards had a 1/4 of an inch around the outside of it that was colored, and like the inside was white, probably to write your journaling on, but I just decided to use those to mount these photos. And then the other cards that I knew I wasn't going to use as well, I went ahead and just mounted the photos on that. So this was just cutting the photos down by 1/4 of an inch on 2 sides and then mounting it on the different 4x6 cards that were in the collection. There were a couple that I didn't find cards for, so I just went ahead and used some pattern paper for it. So when I went to put this particular photo down, of course I didn't put it straight, so I had to take it up and then use my T-square ruler to get it down, and then again using my We Are layering guides to put a 1/4 of an inch border around the 4 sides on those. This is the card that I'm going to use to mount the 3x4, and I did have to definitely do a little bit more math on this one because I needed to make sure that I cut the photos down properly. So I did lay them on top of the cards and then cut them out to make sure that they were cut properly. I feel like I got a lot of paper used up in this particular layout because I mounted each one of the photos on a different color paper. And then I use this like red shiny paper to mount the photo on the right hand side. And then finally, my last photo that I'm going to mount is going to be on this yellow piece of cardstock. The sketch called for a pattern paper with some polka dots, and I happened to have that particular paper in my collection, so I went ahead and used that for the right hand side of the layout. I just went ahead and used the entire sheet. I didn't mount it on white cardstock or anything. And then down at the bottom, it does call for a strip of pattern paper. I'm going to again be using Mermaid Lagoon to ink all of the edges of the photo paper as well as that 1/4 inch strip. And I'm just using the width of my T-square ruler to get the 1/4 inch strip down so it is 1 inch from the bottom of the layout itself. I did try to bring the umbrella back. Like, I really wanted to get that used up, and this time I was like, I'm gonna see if I can get it in there, but even before I lay my photos down, and it still didn't work out. So as I am laying down the photos, I do want to remind you guys that we are still going strong over in the March Madness Facebook group. All the details are listed below, so if you do want to join us, you can check out the details listed below, and then check out the Scrap Now, Sleep Later Facebook group for all of the details. So once I got those photos on the left-hand side down, I realized that I forgot to cut both of them down. Because the photos were still 4x4, that meant that the layering piece was a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I had to pull both of those up, cut down the photos, then re-adhere them back to the colored piece of paper, and then use the layering guides to cut them back down. Which, you know, in true Lisa fashion, it doesn't surprise me that I would forget to cut down 2 of the photos. I also want to remind you guys that Veronica over at the Scrap Now Sleep Later Facebook group does also do crops, and I do attend those crops. So the next crop that I'm going to be attending is coming up very soon. So if you are local to the Central Florida area and you want to attend one of the day crops that she has, you can also check out those details at the Scrap Now Sleep Later Facebook group. And if you want to join in with me, you can join in on the crop and meet me face to face if you would like. The sketch also does call for a banner piece up on the upper right hand side, and I decided to just go ahead and use all of the banner pieces that are left. So I do have 2 sticker sheets, so I must have had 2 of these collections, and that makes sense. When the collections were on sale at Tuesday morning, I did tend to pick up a couple of them, especially with things like this, like summer collections, because I knew that I was going to have lots of photos of us in the water. I had used a banner piece on another layout, I think earlier this month, and I only used a short piece of it because it was only like maybe 6 inches wide. So I went ahead and used the rest of the banner strips from one sheet of stickers and then the entire banner strip from the other. So there are some that are repeated. It doesn't really matter that there's repeated pieces. I found this chipboard piece in my embellishment book, and like I said in the last video, I have a full like sheet over there to the left. You can see all of the embellishment pieces that I'm going to try to use up on these layouts so I don't have to go through my embellishment books. This particular chipboard says, "This is a great summer to remember." And I am sure that it is something that the boys will remember because this splash pad was pretty cool. Over on the left hand side, I'm looking for something to go in between that grid of photos, and I find this pinwheel that I'm going to put up on Fun Foam. These photos are, like I said, of a splash pad at Gatorland. This particular year that these photos were taken, I believe we had an annual pass to Gatorland, and so my mom would take the boys up to the splash pad and just let them play around in the splash pad, and maybe they would go do a couple of other things. This splash pad was actually a really cool one, and the boys enjoyed going and just hanging out at the splash pad. The splash pad is called Gator Gully, and that's going to be my title. I've used these like really cool shiny stickers over on the left hand side for my title. And then I pulled out that teal half circle that I've used quite a bit. I'm not sure where I got those, but I believe they were part of like a planner pack where you would get these and you could add them to your planners. So there is a thick stack of them, almost like what post-it notes would look like, small post-it notes. So I have a ton of them, and it's worked because the colors are perfect for this collection. The sketch calls for a sentiment over on the right hand side underneath the photos. I just went ahead and just put Splash Park Fun because I'm not very original with my titles or sentiments, and I couldn't really find a sticker that was long enough to fit in that section, so I just went ahead and used the tile stickers for my Simple Story color binder books. And then I just continue working through the clusters. Up there on the far left I have a tag that says The Good Life, and I went ahead and added an X as well as a flower and a blue heart. Over there next to that chipboard piece, I did add a floral and another X and a blue heart as well. And then I just added a sticker in the center of that pinwheel that says yay. So here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I hope you guys are enjoying this video a day. I have definitely enjoyed getting all of these layouts completed for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.